PR Champions with Steven Seidel here on Daily News Network. We have a great show for you today. We have Nicholas Scibetta calling us from New York, just outside of New York City, from West Islip. Nicholas, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, and I said I wasn't going to say it wrong, but I said Islip when it's Islip. But, you know, we all make mistakes. But anyway, I want
It's
to
all
learn a little
good.
bit more about your agency. Tell us about Nicholas Scibetta and Associates. You're about, 10 people at your agency. How long have you been in existence, and how'd you first get your start?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. It's interesting. We're coming up on our first year as an agency. And so it's gone incredibly fast. It's been a wild, but pretty amazing journey to get here. We are a branding and communications consultancy that's international. So we have a diverse group of experts in countries around the world across all different areas of expertise, sectors, diverse sectors, industries, and we work with clients across not only diverse sectors and industries, but also size. And so our focus is really brand communications and positioning, crisis preparedness and response, change and transformation management, and then media execution strategy and presentation training.
Great. So there's a lot of really fun keywords in there. You mentioned branding, media. Branding has become such a diluted term. When you say brand communication and when you talk a little bit about media execution, can you give us a little bit more of an insight of what it is that you deliver and maybe some tips and tricks for our audiences?
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because brand or branding has been tossed around a lot. And really, when you talk about a brand or brand reputation, is pretty much the more common terminology that folks are using. It's really about what the organization stands for. When they step up and they step out, do they walk the walk? What is the vision? What is the value proposition? And then are they actually acting out that mission, that vision, that value proposition that they're putting out to the world, so to speak, and to their consumers? And really, branding is about creating that mission, vision, value proposition, but it's so much more than that because it's pretty much everything that you do, and the DNA and the fabric of your organization all ladders up to building the brand. And from a brand communications, communications under that umbrella entails a lot. And so under communications, there's internal, there's external, there's also social strategy, a digital strategy, content you're creating. How are you communicating said organization? And it could be a CPG, it could be an NGO, could be in the higher ed space. That somewhat isn't relevant in terms of how you approach branding, how you then actually create content, how you distribute it, the channel distribution, what makes up your brand and communication strategy. That's where customization comes based on your target market, your target audience, and then really what your organization is about. But when you're approaching communications, it's really about telling a story, telling your brand's story, telling your consumer what you're about and what you do for them and why it matters and why they should care about you. And so it's really looking at how you're building your brand, how you're building messaging. So, what is the messaging? When someone thinks about your brand, what do they say? Can they actually describe what your brand, what your organization is about? And if they can't, then that's a huge red flag that your brand strategy and your communication strategy is not syncing up. And really, that's
Sure.
something that is a 101 that you need to develop that brand strategy and the mission, vision value proposition before you start going out to tell people, here's what we sell, or here's what we do, or here's why we're differentiated amongst competitors. You have to develop those foundational elements. And so I think
Sure.
for us coming in with clients, it's coming in and really understanding and immersing ourselves as quickly as possible in the client's business, what their business and strategic objectives are, how the brand correlates to that, how the communications and marketing team delivers on those strategic objectives and the brand promise. And so getting immersed in that, and it is really a process, and we don't want the process to be elongated. We really want that to be an opportunity for us to get fully immersed in a short period of time, depending on what the project is, but as quickly as we can so that we can start delivering value. And it's really understanding from the partner and the client, what are you trying to achieve? What assets do you have? How are you differentiated? And then what is your narrative? What's your brand
Yeah.
narrative? What's the story that you're telling? And what are the supporting points to actually support what you're saying?
That's great. Yeah. So for us as an organization, just like you, start with the mission, get into the messaging, get into the marketing, the media, and really build that core foundation. If you want to learn more, we run out of time, Nicholas. I apologize. But if you do want to learn more about Nicholas Scibetta and Associates, please check out thedailynewsnetwork.com. And thank you so much for sharing all of your insights about really telling your own story and sharing your story. Congrats on 1 year in, Nicholas. Thanks for joining the show.